Hi YouTube, welcome to Danielle's Denture Diaries. If you have not met me before, I am Danielle, and I'm going to be kind of doing something a little bit different. The reason being I am testing this new video editing thing that I found on the laptop, and we're going to see how it goes, because the best way it seems to use this editing is to actually upload and record through that app and not from like the camera thing itself. So we'll see what happens. At any rate, I was thinking that I would do a different kind of video today. First of all, I know I'm just super anxious about learning how to edit these videos because I know it's been far too long since I had that ability to keep these cleaned up, make them look a little more extra than what they had been for a while now. I used to be able to put jokes in and GIFs and memes and things like that, and yeah, I miss it. So we're going to figure it out. Where I'm at so far is I can replace this entire screen with a photo or whatever it is that I want to show you, but I can't add it in like right here like I would want to. I would prefer to be able to do something like that at some point, so we'll see. In the meantime, I am going to be doing a react video. I'm going to move myself over, and what I'm going to be reacting to is denture history. So let me get this pulled up. I want to kind of slim it down. I don't need it that big. Okay. So this first website I went to is for Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, Stephen R. Hagerman, DDS, HagermanDentalCare.com. And it says how dentures have changed over the last few decades. So I'm going to read bits and pieces here. If you would like to pull up the website and you want to read along or take a look with me, that's totally obviously cool. If you're just listening to me in the background, hopefully this just kind of keeps you company. Alright, so it says, I'm going to read verbatim in some of these pieces. I'm not saying this as though I'm any kind of a professional, because I'm really not. I'm just a denture wearer. And then I'm going to kind of react and add in my own little blurb. So, it says, dentures reportedly date as far back as 2500 BC as people first used animal teeth for the purpose of replacing their own missing teeth. Tooth replacements can help us speak and eat better than we would without teeth, and the dentures of today are removable prosthetic teeth. Animal teeth. Could you imagine? My first... I'm laughing now, but I'm well aware of the reality that this was an actual fact. That at one point, that's what we did, you know? What's crazy is to think, like, imagine a denture, right? And, I mean, do you think that they would mix the animal's teeth together to make them look more like human teeth? Like a mixture of, like, a coyote teeth and, like, I don't know, some other animal. A panda? Or not a panda. What am I thinking? I was going to say trash panda. I'm actually thinking raccoon. But things like that, like, how crazy would that be? And then you have to also think about, like, the size of your head and your ability to bite and smile and things like that. But I wonder if they even thought about those kinds of things back then, like that far back. I wonder if they just did it for the sake of being able to eat. But at any rate, could you imagine, like, oh, what are your dentures made out of? Oh, mine's made out of deer and a cow and a raccoon and a squirrel. I would have a trash panda smile. You may have noticed that dentures have become much higher, better quality over recent years. Let's talk about how they have changed over the years and who you can talk to in order to find out more about what would work best for your teeth. Well, we're not going to really go over that. Changes of denture material throughout history. So, in the beginning, dentures were made out of animal or other human teeth. Oh my gosh! I never would have thought... Oh, man. I have mixed feelings, because could you, like another dead person's teeth? Or would it be someone who had to have their molar pulled, so they just seal it into a piece of acrylic? Oh, man. Wow. Or maybe it wouldn't be acrylic back then. Later, porcelain and vulcanite later became popular materials. In the mid-20th century, I can't get over that. Another human's teeth in your head. I don't think I like that. That's really scary to think about, and I don't know why. I can't get over it. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll continue. In the early 20th century, acrylic resin and other plastics became the choice materials for dentures. Okay, so acrylic and plastic. So what we have today, right? In 1937, methacrylate. For those of you reading along with me, I'm willing to bet you somebody's saying it better than I am. Was found to be an ideal material for creating a denture base. Methyl methacrylate is a monomer of acrylic resin and remains popular today, as it is also easy to fix and generally affordable. You know what's wild to think about? So, this is going to sound very, like a very strange thing to compare. But imagine, so like, for those of you that wear hair extensions, I like to wear clip-in hair extensions, and there's a difference between you getting people hair, human hair, or horse hair versus the plastic hair, right? The synthetic. The synthetic is cheaper. It's also very low quality. If you use the real human hair or horse hair, it tends to be more expensive. It's also better quality, and you can actually style it. Could you imagine? The craziest concept to me would be comparing our dentures now and the fact that they're made out of acrylic and porcelain or plastic compared to somebody that created it out of porcelain and animal or human teeth would probably be way more expensive. But I would still never go with it. Would you ever would you ever buy dentures that are like what you probably have right now, or what you're looking into getting into, which is the acrylic or plastic, or zirconia, as I look up to you people that already have zirconia? I don't know why that sounds so beautiful, but it does. Or, given the chance, would you actually purchase and wear an animal or / human teeth made denture? Please leave your comments. I would love to see it. Let's talk about it. By the 1940s, the majority of denture bases were made out of polymethyl methacrylate. Now they have an acronym in there for it. PMMA. Teeth materials, I'm not a dentist, guys, themselves also transitioned from porcelain to PMMA, and then later to a PMMA and composite. The composite added a durable surface to the tooth, while the PMMA allowed for proper bonding with the denture base. So, what allows the white teeth, or eggshell white, yellowish, whatever it is that you chose, to actually hold onto the gums portion of your denture. Cool. Today, some of the most popular denture materials used by dental professionals are metals, maybe for a partial, acrylic, and high-performance polymers. The high-performance polymer is a relatively new material as compared to the other options. It is biocompatible, non-irritant, and non-pyrogenic, This stable material is also utilized in electronics and aerospace. Wow. Huh. Sorry, my dinosaur is making sun noises. Happy Saturday night, guys. Yeah. Improvements in dentures over the recent decades. A few decades ago, patients were reporting developing constant sores from their dentures. I think we all know about that. Technological advancements and a better understanding of the structures and functions of our jaws and teeth have allowed for the creation of more comfortable dentures. So the sores and discomfort we experience now were comparatively, probably significantly worse. I mean, could you imagine, what if you had gotten dentures and they didn't bother taking a mold of your mouth? Or like the hinge of your jaw where, sorry, I thought I was going to look one way, I ended up looking another. Right here, the way your jaw actually opens and closes. What if they never took a mold of that? Could you imagine? It'd be like, that'd be really annoying. And with the corresponding changes in the basic materials used for making dentures, they are now more lightweight and yet sturdier and more reliable than ever before. So that's more food for thought, because something that I've always seen, and I touch on this a little bit in previous videos, is the fact that your immediate denture is overwhelmingly big. And people have compared it to having a hockey puck in their mouth, or a football mouth guard, or things like that. They used to be even heavier. Even heavier. And compare that, or add that situation along with the fact of what kind of adhesives did they have allowed back in the day, or what had they created, or did they even have any? Like, did they even think about that? Because whatever you use as an adhesive, it has to be ingestible to a point, right? Appearance has also been a factor in these improvements. Decades ago, you had limited color options, and they often looked unnatural. Today, your dentist can ensure that your dentures match the rest of your teeth or otherwise look very natural. This is where I have a personal feeling and thought and opinion. When I see someone older with beautiful teeth that are the Hollywood style chiclet, perfect square. Sorry, I have one part of my screen is over here, taken up by the article, and then over here is open, so I'm like all confused. But the perfectly white chiclet. Alright, sorry about that, I got interrupted. So I'm going to move this back. Okay. And then the rest of this article is talking about how they're a trusted Minnesota dentist. So, there you go. If you're in Minnesota, this dentist is in St. Paul. So we have that. Alright. So another website that I found, and this is going to be one of those take it or leave it kind of things, is I went to Wikipedia, which I know everybody has their opinions of using Wikipedia. But, I mean, I thought it had quite a bit of information, so. Anyway, so it's dentures in Wikipedia. Dentures, also known as false teeth, are prosthetic devices constructed to replace missing teeth and are supported by the surrounding soft and hard tissues of the oral cavity. Conventional dentures are removable. However, there are many denture designs, some which rely on bonding or clasping onto other teeth, or dental implants, fixed prosthetics. There are two main categories of dentures, the distinction being whether they are used or replaced, whether they are used to replace missing teeth on the mandibular arch or the maxillary arch. Maxillary looks like it's your upper. I'm not sure if that's the actual difference, but I'm sure one of you is probably going to be more in the know than I am. So, medical uses. Dentures do not feel like real teeth, nor do they function like real teeth. So, kind of a little disclaimer there. And then it lists off what dentures can help people through. So, if you are thinking about getting dentures and you're still in the learning phase still, this is a few things to maybe keep in mind. Like, are dentures right for me? Who gets dentures? Who looks into them? So mastication or chewing ability is improved by replacing edentulous areas with denture teeth. Aesthetics. Because the presence of teeth gives a natural appearance to the face, and wearing a denture to replace missing teeth provides support for the lips and cheeks and corrects the collapsed appearance that results from the loss of teeth. So for anyone who doesn't know and has not been watching my videos, I am wearing a mask right now because I'm not wearing my dentures. My dentures are out at a lab getting a hard reline done, and I will not have them back until next week. I sound different mostly to myself. I did listen a little bit to one of my most recent videos. I don't think I sound that different, but I can personally hear the distinction. And I can personally attest that when I'm not wearing my dentures, my face is very different than when they're in. When they're in, it feels very much like this is how my face should look. When they're not in, I don't know who that is in the mirror. Pronunciation, because replacing teeth, case in point right here that you're listening to. Replacing missing teeth, especially the anteriors, enables patients to speak better. There is especially improvement in pronouncing words containing sibilants or fricatives. Anyway, one of you probably knows how to pronounce that better as well. Also, self-esteem. This is the last one on the list. Because improved looks and speech boost confidence in the ability to interact socially. And that is one that I personally think I identify with the most. The aesthetics, sure. But mostly that self-esteem. The fact that I can now take pictures with my son, I take pictures in general. Those are all very important to me. And then it talks about how there are complications that can happen with dentures. Tooth loss. So what can cause you to not have teeth? A few of them is oral flora control, periodontal disease, and tooth decay. Other reasons include pregnancy. Tooth developmental defects caused by severe malnutrition. Mine was in the case of genetic defects such as I don't know if I'm going to say this right. I know this is what I have. I can only say the second half of the word, though. Dentinogenesis imperfecta. So I was born with no enamel. Trauma or drug use. What I want to point out right now, did anybody notice where drug use was on the cause for tooth loss? The person that commented that a dentist and a student were working on them and this question was asked, I'm looking at you right now. Drug use was last on the list. Not first, not second. Ricky Bobby gone last. And then it does go on to explain these in more detail as well. And then it goes over the different kinds of dentures. So I know I'm branching out now away from the history of dentures. Now I'm just kind of talking about the factual understanding of dentures. So removable partial dentures. And then there's also fixed partial dentures known as crown and bridge dentures. For me, I had personally crowns on every single one of my teeth that I had in my head. And they were expensive. They were made out of plastic a few times, and then they were made out of porcelain as my final set. And they do break. They wear and tear over time. And you have to go in and get cracks fixed. You have to get them replaced. They will fall out. Ultimately, at the end of my realization was that the teeth underneath were always going to still continue to decay and rot and cause me pain eventually, and infection. And I just wasn't here for it. So I just said I want them out. Complete dentures. Complete dentures are worn by patients who are missing all of the teeth in a single arch. Yep, so I was right. So maxillary is upper, mandibular is lower arch, so bottom, top. Or more commonly, in both arches. Hi. The full denture is removable because it is held in place by suction. They are painful at first and can take some time to get used to. There are two types of full dentures, immediate dentures and conventional dentures. Conventional, I'm just assuming based off of my own experience so far, I have immediate dentures. That's the ones that are currently out at the lab. Conventional dentures are the ones that I have to pay out of pocket for eventually. Those are going to be the ones that are custom, that are made out of acrylic and zirconia one day. I think they're going to look so pretty. And then copy dentures can be made for either partial but mainly complete denture patients. These dentures require fewer visits to make and usually made for older patients, patients who have a difficulty adjusting to new dentures and would like a pair of dentures or like the aesthetics of their dentures already. This requires taking an impression of the patient's current denture and remaking them. Hey, I want to look into that. I had no idea that was even a thing. I've never heard of that before. A copy denture. Do any of you have a copy denture? Have you ever done it? Do you know anything about it? I would love to see and hear more about it. It goes more into the materials. This does have more specifics in the history of dentures. It does reference a few people in particular. As early as 17th century BC, Etruscans in northern Italy made partial dentures out of human or other animal teeth fastened together with gold bands. Could you imagine that your gum line is gold? I'm trying to imagine what that would look like. I don't know how I feel about it. That'd be really heavy, though, too, right? Because that's a kind of metal. The Romans had likely borrowed this technique by the 5th century BC. Wooden full dentures, were invented in Japan around the early 16th century. Softened beeswax was inserted into the patient's mouth to create an impression. They did get impressions using beeswax, which was then filled with harder beeswax. Wooden dentures were more than meticulously carved based on that model. Not more than. The earliest of these dentures were entirely wooden, but later versions of natural teeth or sculpted pagadite, ivory, or animal horn for the teeth. Wow. Ivory teeth. Could you imagine how expensive that would be? Ivory. And hand sculpted. These dentures were built with a broad base, exploiting the principles of adhesion to stay in place. This was an advanced technique for the era. It would not be replaced in the West until the 18th century. Wooden dentures continued to be used in Japan until the opening of Japan to the West in the 19th century. In 1728, described the construction of dentures using a metal frame and sculpted teeth from animal bone. So animal teeth and animal bone. The first porcelain dentures were made around 1770 by Alexis de Chateau. Sorry, I'm trying to do French justice over here. I love French accents. I could listen to you talk all day. In 1791, the British patent was created to Nicolas Dubois de Chaumont, previous assistant to de Chateau, for de Chaumont's specification. A composition for the purpose of making of artificial teeth, either single, double, or in rows, or in complete sets, and also springs, or fastening or affixing the same in a more easy and effectual manner than any hitherto, or couleur, discovered, which said teeth may be any shade of couleur, which they will retain for any length of time, and will consequently more perfectly resemble the natural teeth. He began selling his wares in 1792 with most of his porcelain paste. Porcelain paste? Adhesive? I'm curious. Supplied by Wedgwood. 17th century London's Peter de la Roche is believed to be one of the first operators for the teeth. They were often professional goldsmiths, ivory turners, or students of barber surgeons. Men who advertised themselves as specialists in dental work, they were often professional goldsmiths, ivory turners, or students of barber surgeons. How crazy is that? You could be a goldsmith or an ivory turner. I don't even know what that is. I'm saying it like I know what it is. They were specialists in dental work. How crazy. In 1820, Samuel Stockton, a goldsmith by trade, began manufacturing high-quality porcelain dentures mounted on 18-karat gold plates. Later, dentures from the 1850s were made of vulcanite, a form of hardened rubber into which porcelain teeth were set. So imagine your palate being like a rubber. That actually doesn't sound bad. It'd probably be really heavy, though, because it'd be pretty thick rubber. And depending, I wonder what that care would take. I'm not trying to be innovative here, but in the 20th century, acrylic resin and other plastics were used. In Britain, sequential adult dental health surveys revealed that in 1968, 79% of those aged 65 to 74 had no natural teeth. By 1998, this proportion had fallen to 36%. So oral hygiene probably got better, health overall, advancements in the medical industry, people paying attention to what they were eating probably. I don't know. I'm not a history guru. I'm just taking a guess here. And then it moves on to George Washington, who most of us probably remember hearing about this. George Washington suffered from problems with his teeth throughout his life. Heyo! And historians have tracked his experiences in great detail. He lost his first adult tooth when he was 22 and had only one left by the time he became president. He had several sets of false teeth made, 4 of them by a dentist named John Greenwood. None of the sets, contrary to popular belief, were made from wood. What? Or contained any wood. What? You lied. Somebody lied. Who lied to me? The set made when he became president were carved from hippopotamus and elephant ivory held together with gold springs. Elephant ivory and hippopotamus ivory. Gold springs. He had bougie teeth. By the sounds of it. I'm sure it wasn't. There's a reason why that's not a thing anymore, but prior to these, and I'm not, by the way, quick disclaimer, I am not for hunting. I'm for people hunting. I eat meat. I'm not about the game and sport of hunting an elephant for their tusk, for example. I'm not about that. Prior to these, he had a set made with real human teeth, likely ones he purchased from several unnamed people of color, presumably Mount Vernon slaves, in 1784. Oh my gosh. I want to go back to believing he had wooden teeth. Can I do that? Man, history, people, I tell ya, history. And then it goes into things like manufacturing, prosthodontic principles, support, stability, retention, fit, maintenance, relining, costs, care. If you guys want me to go over those things, I can. Again, a bit of what I did just now, I was reading verbatim, and then I would just kind of react to it and give you my own thoughts and feelings, but at any rate, thank you guys still for, wrong side. Thank you guys for watching this video, being patient while I learn how to talk without my dentures in, for now, and while I learn how to edit videos and things like that. If you would like to see more videos from me in the future, go ahead and subscribe. If you like videos like this one and you'd like me to make more on the history and life around dentures, things like that, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And please, please, please leave comments. I love seeing your guys' reactions and thoughts and feelings and your own personal experiences behind these videos so that we can have an open conversation. For me, that is a huge part of us establishing the denture community and the comfort around it and the security around it, is that this can be a normal conversation for us. And hopefully anyone watching these videos on the fence learning about it, maybe you're going to get dentures, maybe not, maybe someone else in your life is, who knows, but getting you to a point where you are content and you feel secure enough to ask questions and things like that. So anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.